Most people think power is loud. They think strength announces itself. They think the strongest person in the room is the one speaking the most, arguing the hardest, proving everyone wrong. But Marcus Aurelius understood something that most people never learn. The strongest people are often the quietest, not because they have nothing to say, because they have learned something dangerous. They know that not every battle deserves their energy, and in a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, silence becomes a form of power. Look around. People argue endlessly online. They defend themselves against every criticism. They explain their decisions to people who don't care. They seek validation from strangers. They fight to win conversations that change nothing. And yet, despite all that noise, they remain exhausted. Because weakness is often loud, strength rarely is. The truth is uncomfortable. Many people speak because they are afraid, afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of being judged, afraid of losing control, afraid that if they stay silent, others will think they are weak. But the truly strong person does not fear silence. They understand that their value does not depend on constant explanation. Think about the moments when someone insulted you. What was your first instinct? To defend yourself, to prove them wrong, to fight back, to make sure everyone knew your side of the story. But Marcus Aurelius would ask a different question. Why does their opinion have so much power over you? Why are you giving a stranger control over your peace? This is where real strength begins, not when you win the argument, but when you no longer need to. Most people spend their lives trying to control how others see them. The strong person focuses on controlling themselves, and there is a huge difference. One path creates endless frustration, the other creates freedom. Because no matter how hard you try, you can never control another person's thoughts. Someone will misunderstand you, someone will judge you unfairly, someone will dislike you for reasons that have nothing to do with you, and when that happens, silence becomes a shield. Not a sign of surrender, a sign of mastery. The weak mind reacts, the strong mind observes. The weak mind is dragged by every emotion. The strong mind chooses which emotions deserve attention. This is why silence often makes people uncomfortable, especially manipulative people. They expect reactions. They expect anger. They expect desperation. They expect you to defend yourself. And when you don't, something strange happens. Their power disappears. Because manipulation survives on emotional responses. Silence starves it. Have you ever noticed how some people become even more aggressive when you refuse to argue? They push harder, they speak louder, they become frustrated. Why? Because they can no longer control the situation. Your silence forces them to face themselves, and many people would rather fight you than confront their own reflection. Marcus Aurelius spent years dealing with betrayal, criticism, and political enemies. He ruled an empire, yet he understood a lesson that remains true today. Not every attack deserves a response. Not every accusation deserves a defense. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Imagine carrying a cup filled to the edge with water. Every argument, every insult, every criticism, every unnecessary conflict adds another drop. Eventually, the cup overflows. Most people live this way, constantly reacting, constantly defending, constantly draining themselves. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted. The strong person protects their energy differently. They understand that attention is one of the most valuable things they possess, and they refuse to waste it. This does not mean becoming passive. It does not mean accepting injustice. It does not mean allowing people to walk over you. It means knowing the difference between what deserves your response and what deserves your silence. That difference changes everything. Because silence is not the absence of strength. Sometimes silence is strength in its purest form. Anyone can shout. Anyone can lose control. Anyone can react. But remaining calm when your emotions are demanding action, that requires discipline. That requires self-mastery. That requires power. And self-mastery was at the heart of Marcus Aurelius' philosophy. He understood that the greatest victory is not over another person. It is over yourself, over your impulses, over your ego, over your need to be validated. Most suffering comes from this hidden addiction.
The addiction to being understood. We want everyone to see our intentions. We want everyone to recognize our goodness. We want everyone to acknowledge our truth. But life does not work that way. Some people will never understand you, no matter how clearly you explain, no matter how honestly you speak, no matter how much evidence you provide. And the moment you accept this reality, a strange peace begins to appear. Because you stop fighting unwinnable battles, you stop chasing impossible approval, you stop giving pieces of yourself to people who have already decided who you are. And suddenly, silence becomes liberation. There is another reason strong people stay silent. They understand the danger of emotional exposure. Every time you react impulsively, you reveal your weaknesses. Your triggers become visible. Your fears become visible. Your insecurities become visible. People learn exactly how to control you. But when you remain calm, you remain unpredictable. And nothing is more powerful than a person who cannot be easily manipulated. This is why silence often feels intimidating, not because it is aggressive, because it is controlled. And control is rare. Most people are controlled by circumstances, controlled by emotions, controlled by opinions, controlled by fear. The strong person is different. Their peace does not depend on external approval. Their confidence does not depend on applause. Their identity does not depend on public opinion. That kind of strength is almost invisible. Yet it changes everything. Because when storms arrive, loud confidence often collapses. But quiet strength remains standing. Life eventually tests everyone. The betrayal comes. The criticism comes. The failure comes. The disappointment comes. And in those moments, words become less important. Character becomes everything. Anyone can appear strong when life is easy. Real strength is revealed when life becomes unfair. When nobody understands your struggle. When your efforts go unnoticed. When people doubt you. When people leave. When people betray your trust. What do you do then? Do you chase them? Do you beg for understanding? Do you fight every accusation? Or do you remain focused on what truly matters? Marcus Aurelius believed that a person's peace comes from within, not from reputation, not from praise, not from victory, from character. And character grows in silence, because silence forces you to face yourself. No distractions, no applause, no audience, just you and your thoughts. And that is where real strength is built. The world celebrates noise. But history remembers discipline. The world rewards attention. But wisdom rewards self-control. The world teaches people to speak. Life eventually teaches them when not to. And perhaps that is the hidden truth most people never discover. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not fear. Silence is not submission. Silence is often the final stage of understanding, the moment when you realize that your energy is too valuable to waste, the moment when you stop trying to convince everyone, the moment when you stop seeking approval from people who cannot give it, the moment when you finally understand your worth, because the strongest people do not need to announce their strength. The deepest oceans make the least noise, the tallest mountains do not speak, and the strongest souls do not spend their lives proving themselves. They simply become. So the next time someone misunderstands you, remember this. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. You do not have to defend yourself against every opinion. You do not have to explain your value to people determined not to see it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all, because silence is not the absence of power. It is power under control. And in a world addicted to noise, that may be the greatest strength of all.